Doom, 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 doom. What up, my guys? Welcome to another show. It's NBA Talk with Jay, Friday edition. This one, Teddy, got a boatload of games. We're going to talk about every game except for that Spurs versus Wizards. Just zero interest in that one. Teddy, unless you had some on there. How you doing, Teddy? Is everything cool with you, my brother?
Yeah, everything's going great, Jay. I got no. I had UCLA last night. That wasn't fun. But other than that, everything's fine. The NBA's been rolling real good, man. I know you've been rolling too. So, and I'm with you on Spurs Wizards. There's no chance. You know, you look at that game, you're like, yeah, no Beal, no Kuzma for Washington. They're slumping, and I don't want any part of San Antonio right now. So easy pass for me. No
right
side,
there
no
with
total,
you,
no nothing.
Yeah, we'll go through every other game, then they'll like so we don't even know who's playing. Half the team still questionable. Game time decision for the Spurs over there as well, guys. So, but let's head over here to the first game, guys. It's all business. We appreciate everybody in the chat as well. Shout out to all the new members as well, man. Everybody that upgraded to the Golden Picks membership. Bill, my guy Bill, Nick Will, I see you, Burns, Underdog King, Jay David, Joe Carner, Philly 215, Corey, AZ, all my guys, man. I appreciate you guys for the support. Let's get to some cash here today, man. Let's head over here to the streets of Boston here, man. We got the Celtics land 12 points at the house versus the Indiana Pacers in this one, Teddy. The Pacers have covered both meetings versus the Celtics this year. Obviously, the Celtics are starting to play a lot better now. What do you think happens in this game? You think we see a fast-paced game? You think the Celtics blow them out, or you think the Pacers keep this one close?
So I don't love this spot for Boston. I really don't. Not that I don't think that they're going to win, but they were real happy with how they closed out the road trip against Sacramento. You know, and I'm not going to call them a fat and happy squad, but they're not a team I'm super comfortable laying double digits with tonight against a Pacers team that's given them problems all year, and a Pacers team that may well have Halliburton back on the floor tonight. He was almost available the other night. We're thinking he could play here, and Indiana's played decent basketball of late. You know, we saw them win on the road at Milwaukee, win on the road at Toronto last time out. The lean here can only be the Pacers plus, but that's just a lean for me. It's nothing I've actually bet.
Yeah, I like the Pacers here, guys. I did bet them last night at the 11.5. Like I said, it's up to 12.5 at some spots here. I like the Pacers to keep this game close. Obviously, the Celtics are juggernauts, guys. They are. But for whatever reason, the Pacers have really matched up well, man. This Pacers team, all the quotes and the interviews I listened to, this is a really together type of team. And they're not out of the play-in tournament just yet as well. So it's not real time for the Pacers to quit on the season. Now, I know it's real tough to push for a 10 seed, but when you're a team like this, a young upcoming team, even making the play-in tournament is a huge step, in my opinion. That's a step towards making the actual playoffs of the next year. So I like the current form of the Pacers. This team is playing well, even without Halliburton. Now, I know sometimes the star player can come in there and mess things up, but I don't care if Halliburton comes in or not in this one, guys. I did bet the Pacers in this one. I think 12 is too many here with the Celtics coming back off that 6-game road trip. Only one, and cross-country as well. They did have 2 days rest, guys. And also it's something I looked at. The Celtics in the first quarter, when coming off 2 or more days rest, they're 2-11 against the spread in the first quarter, guys. So for whatever reason, they come out slow. And it makes perfect sense, Teddy, because this is a jump shooting team. So when you have 2 days off rest, you kind of get out of your rhythm or whatever, and it takes you a little time to get back caught up here. So I hadn't taken Pacers in the first quarter, but my research says that we probably should. I know it's been the worst first quarter team in the season, but now they're starting Benedict Mathurin. It's a difference. They're coming out in the first quarter the last couple of games and winning those first quarters. So heavy lean to the Pacers in the first quarter, to Celtics 2011 ATS in this spot, but I did take the double digits with the Pacers in this one. I think they can keep this one within double digits in this one, Teddy. Any other thoughts on this one, my brother?
No, that first quarter makes a ton of sense to me. And when we look at though Indiana's been a team that falls behind and rallies back too. So they kind of spent all year doing that. They have been a little bit better of late in that regard. Wouldn't talk you out I wouldn't talk you at Indiana full game. I wouldn't talk you at Indiana first quarter.
Hey, I couldn't talk myself off either. See what I'm saying? Let's get this cash. Pacers plus 12 for me, guys, for the show. Set up here to the streets of Toronto here, Teddy. We have the Raptors land 14.5 versus the Pistons. I know the Pistons are god-awful, but in no world right now am I land 14.5 with this Raptors team. I think they have internal issues. Fred VanVleet, I'm seeing him getting pissed off at the teammates. Siakam has dropped down in production. And I think Nick Nurse is like, he's doing his post-game interviews. He didn't even want to look at the reporters and shit, man. I think think Nick Nurse is checked out. The team, like the fans don't want him there anymore. I don't think he wants to be in there anymore. I don't want to lay 14.5 with the Raptors here, Teddy, and the Pistons. Sneakily 9-0 against the spread in their last 9 games versus Toronto. Do you think they make it 10-0 here tonight, Teddy?
Look, Dwayne Casey, I mean, this has been a thing for Detroit. Dwayne Casey cares about his former team, and he thought that he got hosed in Toronto because he didn't get the chance to take that team to the title that he got, almost there. They're like, no, bye-bye. Let's bring in Nurse, and by the way, you can go to Detroit and rebuild for another 5 years after that. So there is a grudge there from the head coach, and it shows up on the floor. I'm with you 1,000% in that there's not a chance I can lay 14.5 points with Toronto tonight. All right. There's not. I mean, it's not a team I'm comfortable doing that. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see much from the Raptors at all down the stretch. And Nurse called out Siakam after last game about his effort. And, you talk about chemistry concerns. That was a quote that stood out to me like a sore thumb because I haven't seen those quotes from Nurse this year. It sounds like he's getting frustrated. No chance with Toronto. The question is, can we get there with Detroit? And, I mean, you can get there with your money. Pistons are a hard team to put your money on because they'll compete for a quarter, they'll compete for a half, but the other team, I mean, every game Detroit plays, their opponent's going on a 20-2 run and take over the game in the second half. It just, the level of competitiveness in the fourth quarter for Detroit just isn't there, So if I have to play it, I can only take the points, but I ain't taking the points.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. This is a tough one, and the Raptors also have a game versus the Wizards on deck as well, where obviously those are some of the important games. So, like I said, the Raptors should get off the 2-game losing streak. They should win this game. I don't want to ask this team to lay 14.5. I know they're going up against one of the worst teams, but that Pistons 9-0 against the spread last 9. Like I say, we know that there is a narrative there. When Casey comes back to face his old team, and they've lost all 3 this season as well. So, they faced. This is the last time playing this season. Man, I wouldn't be surprised the Pistons covered this game. If I'm betting this one, I'm only looking towards the Pistons plus 14.5. I think they will make it 10-0 against the spread last 10 versus the Raptors. And they have so many points where they can lose this game and still keep it within double digits and play a great game, in my opinion. So heavy lean to the Pistons plus 14.5 in this one. Nobody's going to want them. Let's head over to the streets of Memphis here, Teddy guy. I like those plays that nobody wants, man. Them the ones that be cashing. Grizzlies land 13 here at the house versus the Rockets. Do you think they can cover in this second game of the home back-to-back here, Teddy?
I'm more likely to look at the total in this one than the side. What did we see the other night? We saw, again, this is the second of 2 in Memphis for the Rockets against the Grizzlies. It was -12 the other night and 130 to 125 final. Houston hung around all game long, covered the numbers, shot the ball fairly well. Now, good offensive games from the Rockets don't necessarily come in back-to-back contests, but Memphis defensively, when you think of them without Clark and without Adams, they're just not an elite defensive team at this stage. They're really not. And we've seen it. They've been an over machine now with Ja back in the lineup and the pace being pushed, and Houston certainly can't control pace against anyone. I lean over here before I got involved with either side. I think we'll see points much like we did earlier in the week when these two teams met up.
Yeah, I was on the Rockets and the over in the first matchup between these two teams, and I'll be honest, I think the same thing can happen here once again. The Grizzlies are pushing for the playoffs, right? I mean, so when you're the number 2 seed or number 3, whichever one they're going to be, you don't necessarily want to go balls to the wall, especially not versus these lower tier teams here. So will they win the game? Yes, but I don't want to trust the Grizzlies here laying 13 points. They play the same type of game. I remember fading the Grizzlies a couple times with the Spurs earlier this season. They were laying around the same amount of points, man. It was 11 then. They laid 11, I believe, both times in the series. They won both games. The first one, I believe, they won by 8. The second one, they won by 6. It was the exact same situation here. I believe both games flew over the total as well. So the Grizzlies, when they play these type of teams back to back, they usually play the same type of game. I like to say, okay, they didn't cover the spread this time. Now they're going to blow them out, but if you've been watching the Rockets, this team has been playing really well, man. I mean, even KJ Martin had like 30 points in the last game, guys. Kevin Porter Jr. went for a triple-double. Jalen Green has been balling out as well. So I feel like the Rockets have tanked so much this season. Now they can actually play a real brand of basketball in this one. They probably won't win the game, but I could only look towards the Rockets here plus 13 once again, and I think it'll go over here once again. Like I said, we just did that the other day, took Rockets in the over. It worked out wonderfully for us. They lost by 5. It went to 255 points. I could see another over here for the simple fact that the Grizzlies just don't need to play top-tier defense. They do get Dylan Brooks back in this game, so he is obviously going to be on Kevin Porter Jr. or Jalen Green in this one, but I still could only look towards the over, and I still lean towards the Rockets here plus the 13 once again in this one, guys. Like I said, the Grizzlies play the same type of game when they play back-to-back, so I think 13 is too many to lay with the Grizzlies right now, guys. Let's head over here to the streets of Dallas here, Teddy. We have the Mavs laying a boatload, man. 14.5 points, right? Now, we know that, obviously, I mean, I know you're not going to like the Mavs here, Teddy. Obviously, laying heavy points here versus the Hornets, but, I mean, the Hornets, they don't really have much to play for the rest of the season. Now, I could say it's a ton of points here, Teddy, but what do you think happens in this game?
This game is San Antonio, Washington. You know, there's no chance. There's no side. There's no total. There's no nothing. All right. For Charlotte tonight, you don't know if Oubre is going to play. Don't know if Rozier is going to play. Don't know if Dennis Smith is going to play. They may not have any of their ball handlers at all. All right. All 3 guys got hurt last time out. They got blown out of that ball game. They're a bad team playing out the string. We want no part of Charlotte without any of their ball handlers. But you want to talk about a team with no track record of laying points, you know, let alone laying 14. I mean, Dallas just hasn't had that mentality to beat up a team early and then keep their foot on the gas. I can't think of 3 games this year that Dallas has done that. I'm not going to bet they're going to do it tonight. Easy pass.
Yeah, I could only look towards the Mavs in this one, guys. I did put some on them last night, minus at 13. Doesn't surprise me that it's up to 14.5. No one will want the Mavs tonight, guys. I think they win this game by 20 points with these. I'm watching the Hornets last night. This offense stinks, especially. So, obviously, Dennis Smith Jr. left last night's game with an illness. He was holding his chest. Kelly Oubre left with the right shoulder injury, and when he left in the second quarter. Terry Rozier as well also left in the second quarter as well with a right ankle sprain. So, those 3 guys could be back in. I'll admit, if those 3 guys play, then I couldn't talk you off taking the Hornets. But if those guys are out, man, the Hornets don't have a bench. They're already on a back-to-back. They don't have anything to play for the rest of the season. You don't really want to trust. You don't really want to hurt yourself going into the offseason. You see what I'm saying? Then that's going to really push back everything in this one, man. So I want no parts of the Hornets in this one, guys. Maybe look towards the over. Obviously, the Mavs aren't the greatest defensive team. And my guy Munaf in the chat saying they recall Bognite and Mal. I mean, Bognite. Guys, he probably should have left him in the G League, man. But Maladon is a formidable guard. He used to play for the Thunder over there. But those aren't people that scare me, man. I think this game gets ugly early and often. I think Mavs in the first quarter should be a look here as well. I think this game is over with quick. I've seen this time and time again where nobody wants to lay the heavy points, and then you look at it, they're down 20 points. The underdog is down 20 points in the first half in this one, guys. That's how I see this game going. This could be a trifecta spot for the Mavs. The NBA also owes them one as well, guys. They just got hosed in that last game. It was a whole report about it, all this type of shit. But I think the refs will be pro Mavs in this one. They're in need of a huge win as well, and they need to take their frustration out on someone. I think it happens tonight versus the Hornets, in my opinion. I think the Mavs come out here and cash a trifecta spot here. I did bet minus 13 last night. I like the first quarter in this one too, guys. If you can get that -4 in the first quarter, I'm going to be betting the first quarter right after the show. This is a Smack City spot for the Mavs. And I'm glad nobody in the chat likes it as well, man. Give me Mavs here in a trifecta spot, Smack City. And if you watched the show yesterday as well, I said they were going to win this game by 20 points. So I have to go with my guns in this one. Mavs masterclass coming in this one, guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Utah here, Teddy. Do you have anything on this one, man? It's a tough game for me with Bucks laying 9.5 at the house versus the Jazz, getting back 9.5. Bucks do have a game versus the Denver Nuggets on tomorrow, Teddy.
Yeah, that's why if I'm going to look at Milwaukee, I'll look first half. With the Bucks, they've been real good in this road favorite first half role. They've been good in a lot of different roles, but one thing that we trust about the Bucks, they come to play against everybody. You know, this isn't a team that comes out flat. This isn't a team that looks ahead of the next game. And when they have somebody beat, they put their foot down on them, which I continue to be impressed with the Bucks' intensity in game, even playing with a lead. So many teams blow leads. Milwaukee's not a team that does that very often. And I mean, Utah's coming off a big no-show. Where Portland, they weren't ready to play against Portland. The Blazers ran them out of the gym. And when you're without your three best players, Sexton, Clarkson, and Markkanen, it is what it is for the Jazz right now. The effort's there every night, with the exception the last time out. The effort's really been there for Utah. I give that team credit, but they're not capable of hanging with Milwaukee. Not with this one. Walker Kessler continues to impress me. There's a name if you're looking at for on the prop report. Kessler, and Kessler has the potential. I don't know if he's going to give Giannis trouble. I don't think Giannis has it easy at the rim tonight. Maybe look at Milwaukee first half. That would probably be the way I would go in this one.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. Yeah, I'm only looking towards Milwaukee here. I don't like it. The Jazz are such a tricky type of team, guys. If for whatever reason, every time they sit Markkanen, that's when the Revs seem to be on their side, man. It's the creepiest shit ever. Then it's like, I don't even know what they're doing there. Markkanen will be out for a game or 2 games, then he'll come back and play a game, and then they'll lose. So I'm saying everybody will take them, and then they lose. That's what had happened versus the Blazers now. And then now they're sitting them out, and then we probably see some fishy shit here, man. So I'd want no part to this game. Like I said, if the Bucks didn't have a game tomorrow in Denver, back-to-back in altitude, I'd be saying, yeah, Bucks smash spot here. But you always worry about the look-ahead factor. I guarantee you that game is on national TV tomorrow as well, on a Saturday afternoon versus the Denver Nuggets as well. So possibly huge look-ahead spot for the Bucks. I'm still only looking their way, but I'm not going anywhere near this game. I want no part to this game. T, what you think about the under here with Kessler in there?
Jazz under is hard to play, man. I don't have a strong take on the total. I really don't. The game tomorrow, by the way, because we look at Bucks Nuggets and go, what a great matchup. I'd love to see this in the finals. The NBA looks at Bucks Nuggets and their nightmare matchup. They want a bigger markets. It's on NBA TV tomorrow, for what it's worth. It's not on any of the big networks.
Yeah, hey, but NBA TV is still a national TV game, though. It's still a national TV game. So I'm not betting this game. I have no thoughts on this one, man. Let's go over here. I still couldn't talk you out of the under, though. Let's go over to the streets of Golden State here, guys. Warriors land 5.5 points at the house versus Sixers. In my opinion, the injury report manipulation game of the day, people were telling me last night on ESPN that they saw on the ESPN injury report, they saw Harden and Embiid doubtful. They're not doubtful in this game. They're actually probable. I think this line closes somewhere around Warriors -2. I fully expect Embiid and Harden to play in this game, and I think the Sixers continue to be disrespected here, Teddy. I like the Sixers here plus the 5.5 versus the Warriors here.
I could only take Philly plus. I think Philly is better than Golden State. However, you sound very confident these guys are going to play. I'm less confident that Embiid, we see Embiid and Harden. And it concerns, part of me's tempted to take Philly even if they're not in the lineup, This line will go up if neither guy's in the lineup. And we've seen the Sixers, a very deep team. We've seen lots of guys step up when Embiid's been out or Harden's been out this season. And Golden State, look, nice win in Dallas the other night by a bucket. Not by 5, by only 2 in that contest. But Golden State is certainly they're not as good as they've been. All right. I don't know how else to say it. Philly's the better of these two teams, and you're catching 5.5 points. I'm with you. Sixers are pass.
Well, the only reason why I'm confident that is because their coach sounded pretty confident, right? Embiid didn't need to come back in that game. He said he had calf soreness, and the coach says, "Hey, when I hear that, obviously they had a huge freaking lead. They didn't need to bring him back in that game." Yeah. Harden, I think if there's one that probably be out, when you have Achilles soreness, he's the guy that's more likely to be out, but he sat out the last couple of games. Doc Rivers sounds confident that both guys will be in here, Teddy.
Yeah, let me give you 1 second. Let me find this, because Rivers had a quote that made me think that maybe they weren't going to play that I caught. And give me 1 second, I'll track it down because I know where I saw it. So give me just 1 second, because it was talking about previous playoffs. Okay. Doc Rivers quote: "We don't want him playing." Talking about Harden, we don't want him playing if it's sore. If it's sore enough, we still won't play him on Friday. We've gone into the playoffs 2 years in a row with injuries. We all learned we all know that you don't win in the playoffs if your key guys aren't healthy, period. So we are going to do whatever we can to be healthy. And that, to me, was a concerning quote. I had Philly on my short list. I read that, and I'm like, yeah, it's going to stay on the short list. I'm not going to bet them because I'm not confident that these guys are going to play.
Yeah, that must have been before. That must have been before that Bulls game. I just know Doc Rivers after the Bulls game basically says he expects both of them to be ready Friday. He says it's not guaranteed, but he expects both players that that was on the interview for Doc Rivers after the post game interview after the Bulls game. He says he expects Embiid and Harden to be ready on Friday, guys. So nothing's guaranteed. Like I say, you could take this. I'll tell you this, guys. With all the books that you can bet at, I'm a big fan of betting at the books that at least enable you to cash out on bets, guys. So I could talk you off taking the Sixers plus 5.5. They're not out. You got to be quick, you know what I'm saying, and go cash out. But regardless, I like Sixers here plus 5.5. The Warriors are not the same as of old as well, and they come back home off a little road trip as well. I think the Sixers actually are live to win this game, guys. They've won 9 of their last 10 games. When are we going to start giving the Sixers some respect? This team is deep as hell. D'Anthony Melton, you got guys like Shake Milton coming off the bench as well. We hadn't even seen Montrezl Harrell in forever, guys. Paul Reed, this is a deep ass team, man. Daniel House Jr. out there stifling guys, and one major injury here that people don't even know about, and that's Jaden McDaniels. That's Jalen or Jaden McDaniels, man. I don't know why the hell they mama named him that close to, but it's the guy that came from the Hornets. Man, this guy's a damn good defender. He's been out for 2 games, I believe. First game home after 5-game road trip for the Warriors. They've played 8 of their last 10 games on the road as well. They come back to the house. I know they balled out at the house, but I'll be perfectly honest. I'm expecting the Warriors to actually lose this game, and then I love them on Sunday versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, guys. I kind of have to look ahead, but I think Embiid masterclass coming here tonight, guys. Remember what I tell you. I gave you guys the script already. Embiid on national TV games. These are the games that he has to push for the MVP if he really wants it. I think that there's narratives out there. They want him to win it. He's a matchup nightmare for the Warriors here as well. Embiid is playing this. He's not missing this national TV game. It's gonna tarnish his resume too much, guys. Give me Philly here plus the 5.5. I fully expect this line to move down to at least 3.5. And then I'll keep it real with you guys. If you like the Warriors, you might want to wait here. I think Embiid is definitely playing this one. Harden, he could sit out until tomorrow on this one, but I guarantee you they want the game versus the defending champs more than the faltering Phoenix Suns right now here, guys. So give me Philly plus 5.5. If you don't like it, if you don't feel comfortable with it, guys, you don't have to take it. But I'm on the Sixers in this one. I think they win this shit outright, guys. Set over here to the streets of Portland here, Teddy. Blazers, man, 2 teams that I don't know what to do with right now. I'll tell you that right now. I see people betting this game like they know exactly what's going on. I'm telling you guys, these are 2 teams that are so up in the air. I wouldn't be surprised. What happened here, Teddy? What you looking at? Blazers versus Bulls, my guy.
Oh, I bet this one. Yeah. That's the one. That's because that's funny you say you don't know what. I'm confident in Chicago right now. All right. And we don't know what DeRozan's going to play. I don't care if he plays. We're fading the Blazers. All right. Portland stinks. All right. They're not a good basketball. And Portland's coming off the best game they played in a month at Utah? Because that was a wire-to-wire job. And all the quotes after the game was, we finally did it for 48 minutes, and they're fat and happy as can be. Portland's not going anywhere. All right. There's still no Jeremy Grant. There's still no Anthony Simons. They had all the role players coming in and draining threes the other night. The undrafted rookie free agents. They're a bad team. This is a lottery team. It's Dame and the Seven Dwarfs. I don't want to ask Portland to win. Chicago, they've been winning games. They're tough. I'll give them credit. They are that team is tough as nails. Something that Portland is not. Offensively, there are issues with the Bulls consistently, but in this point spread range, I trust them. DeRozan plays. Now I'm not 100% that DeRozan's playing. If he doesn't, the number's going to come down, and we'll probably bet Chicago again. But the Blazers are one-way team for me. I'm fading Portland. They're Charlotte with a better name.
I want no parts of this game, man. This is the problem with the Blazers. They're not out of the play-in tournament yet. As long as Dame is playing, I do still feel like that they have an outside chance. Now, I don't think it's going to happen, but they don't. You know what I'm saying? Home game as well. Now, I know that Nurkic is questionable here. Grant's out. Anthony Simons is out. The Blazers still have the better offense here, guys. This Bulls offense is very stagnant. I feel like if you like the Bulls, you like Bulls and under. If you like the Blazers, you like Blazers. If you like the over, that means things you like the Blazers in this one, man. So I'll tell you this: Dame has not looked the same. He's been 2 for 10, 2 for 10 from three the last game, 1 for 9 the game before this. So I do think their left calf soreness is real. But I'll tell you this right now: don't be a bit surprised if Dame is turned up for this game. He fucking hate Patrick. He can't stand Patrick Beverly. So I guarantee you, he's gonna see Beverly on the other side. That might get Dame going. I'm so off this game. This is a toss-up. I wouldn't be surprised what happened there. Wouldn't be surprised if the Blazers won 2 in a row. Wouldn't be surprised if the Bulls have damn near quit on the season, guys. I've been watching DeRozan. I've been watching Levine. I've been watching the coach as well. Levine's probably not going anywhere, but DeRozan has had it with this team. The coach as well has had it with this team, my guys. So I can't say they're coming off a game where the refs were totally against them. So they have that working for them. But Lakers on deck, Clippers, I want no parts of the Bulls. And I want no parts of the Blazers right now as well, even though we did cash with them in the last game. Super tough one, guys. I'm off this game, man. Let's go over here to the streets of Sacramento here, Teddy. Kings, laying 3.5 at the house versus the Suns. Suns are in horrible they're in horrible form right now here, Teddy. What are we looking at in this one?
Yeah, I mean, we just talk about my 2 biggest bet against teams in the NBA right now. Portland's 1, Phoenix is 2. All right. Suns 1-5 straight up, 0-6 against the spread their last 6. All right. They've got nothing going right now. Monty Williams is complaining about the refs. Phoenix hasn't had more free throws than their opponent in any game in March. Every game. Their opponents have had more free throws than them. So it wasn't just the Lakers game. And the reason their opponent's getting more free throws than them every game is because Phoenix is a jump shooting team. They got no Ayton. They have no Durant. They have no bench. And I mean, the bench, the Durant trade, where Phoenix had an above average NBA bench, a bet on bench, has turned them into now Durant sitting on the sideline in street clothes, and they have no bench whatsoever. And every time the bench comes in, they're getting crushed. That's what happens against the Lakers. The last time out, the bench came in and that was the end of Phoenix. Sacramento's hungry. Back-to-back losses, bad showing last time out. They beat Phoenix in Phoenix, wire-to-wire job, less than 2 weeks ago. I think they beat him at home. I think they beat him by margin. This is another one that is in my pocket.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off, man. The Suns are not in good form. I'll ask you this, Teddy. At some point, does it worry you that they're not getting any calls? Personally, I'm not taking the Suns here, but personally, I like to back teams coming off of fishy riffing game. We know Scott Foster's Suns, it's very put out there as well, 47-20 disparity. Do you feel like that the refs kind of owe a team one after hosing them in a big game?
Look, there's 100 ways you can handicap the NBA. All right. And that's a question that there may be some validity to it, where a team might get a call or two that they didn't get the previous game if they got hosed and notably got hosed. But when you're looking at the pantheon of how we're going to handicap this game and how we're going to look at the process, that's not a big piece of the process for me. I can't put myself in to say, yeah, I'm worried that they're not going to get any calls tonight, or they're going to get all the calls tonight. It's not a scenario that I think it's particularly handicapable. And if you can't handicap it, there's no, I don't spend that much time thinking about it. I really don't.
No, I'm right there with you. I'm off this game, man. I'm off this game. I'm not betting against the Kings right now, coming off 2 straight losses. They're definitely the better team. But when you got a Suns team, they're not horrible. I know they're without Aiden and they're without KD, but 0-6 ATS last 6, 1-5 straight up. I am worried at some point that the Suns are going to step up. This is the first game of back-to-back as well. They do have the Sixers on deck tomorrow, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Suns came out here and covered the first quarter. That's what they've been doing. Obviously, they've been losing games, so you're motivated to get off that schneid every game. The Suns have actually been coming out well in the first quarter and first half. They just can't put things together for the full game. And the Kings as well usually lock up in the second half in this one, guys. So my top leans in this game would be Suns in the first quarter, maybe first half as well. But I know I'm not betting against the Kings in this one, guys. So hey, go whatever you know. But I do think Suns come out here with some, at least in that first quarter here. Last game up here, Teddy, before we get out of here. Let's go over to the streets of LA here. Man, we got the Lakers here, laying 5.5 at the house versus the Thunder in this one. Thunder just got their ass smacked last night. It just came from Smack City. But you do have they do hate the Lakers. I can tell you that right now. This is a big game for both teams. I do think the Lakers win the game. I'm not laying a 5.5. If I'm betting this game, I'm betting Lakers in the first quarter. Get in and get out in this one, Teddy. How you looking at this one, brother?
I don't know what to do with this one. I really don't. OKC's been real good off a loss. OKC's been real good in all kinds of roles, But but off a loss. They've been, I got them 67% full season on the highway, on the road off a loss. We like them catching points and all of that, but the Lakers are the better team. The Lakers are playing with urgency here. Not a game that I bet. Not a game that I was particularly close to betting. My number came short. My number for the Lakers only came 4 for this contest. And at 4 or lower, I would have looked at LA. 5.5, a little bit high for this better. Lean Lakers, but I'm not getting the win.
Yeah, and SGA hadn't been playing back-to-backs as well. He did say that he could play, guys. So I think this 5.5 is with them thinking that SGA's out. If he's in, it will probably likely go down to like that 4 there, to that 4 range there. So he said he could play. I think SGA will play, but he's not ruled in yet. I think the books are still under the assumption that he's going to be sitting out every back-to-back, Teddy.
Yeah, I want to put that Tim L put up a quote. Said, I like the Suns in this one. Look at the playoff seeding. Sacramento can afford to lose this game. Suns can't. And I want to talk about that particular thought process for a minute because that's important to me. The players for either team, they're not thinking about seeding. They're not. If you're trying to bet seeding, I think you get in trouble. Players care about making the playoffs. There's a difference between the 6 seed and the 7 seed. But where you say Sacramento can afford to lose this game, you think the Kings in the locker room are going, yeah, we can afford to lose this one. It don't matter. We got a 2-game lead over Phoenix for the 2 seed. That's not what they're saying in the locker room. They're saying in the locker room, we're hungry, we're desperate, we lost 2 in a row, let's clinch this up. So my thought process is the quotes about seeding, I don't pay, I don't worry about, teams don't worry about seeding, I don't worry about seeding. I'm just trying to handicap the matchup. Great, I appreciate the quote, great quote, great comment. But if I see it and I disagree with it, it was just up on the screen. I'm like, no. I gotta. I don't think it's about that.
Hey, the chat be popping, man.
Yeah, I don't care. They care.
The chat is popping, man. I always say, tell people, hey, look at the chat, man. Post your plays, your size, totals, props, all that good stuff. And I also think that's a good point there, Lou. Whether the Suns win this game or not, I think Booker goes bunkers in this. So I think that the refs and shit finally starting to get to him. And yeah, Booker's a matchup nightmare for them as well. So regardless if the Suns can stay competitive in the game or not, I do think Booker goes for at least 30-0. That's a nice look there, Lou. But yeah, in this Lakers game, I like to look at them first quarter. They've been coming out firing. They spoke about it as well. They need to come out and hop on teams. That way they're not getting down in this one. Thunder coming off a back-to-back. Obviously, didn't have to travel anywhere, but what I've noticed with the Thunder is as the game goes on with their coach over there, he's a really good in-game adjuster. He's a really good halftime adjuster as well. I think the Lakers come out here and cover the first quarter here, -1.5 in this one, guys. That's going to be my play in this one. Lakers, first quarter, -1.5, guys. Let's get out of here, Teddy. First, let's take a look at our got to let you guys know about the MLB guy, guys. Listen to the quick commercial really quick.
Play ball. Hot off the press, handicappers from Wager Talk, Sports Memo, and The Gold Sheet have collaborated on the 2023 Wager Talk Media MLB Betting Guide. From World Series odds to regular season win totals and everything in between, this year's betting guide features previews on all 30 teams, all 6 divisions, and season-long awards like the Cy Young, MVP, and Rookie of the Year. Each preview contains key roster acquisitions and departures to help you get up to speed before opening day. Visit wt.buzz/MLB23 to download your free guide, and we'll see you in the batter's box.
We will see you in the batter's box. Settle down, settle down, my guy. But Teddy, what you liking on today's card, and what do you have promote over there at Wager Talk, my brother, or Sports Memo?
Yeah, I'm giving you guys everything I got in the NBA today. I bet Sacramento. I bet Chicago. That's the 2 bets that I made. But the NBA has been real good. 16-5 the last 21, 61% over the last year, all the way back to last February. And that's counting every play every day, almost 275 plays now. That's a 61%. I'm proud of that. And I'm looking to keep it rolling. We've been keeping it rolling. But you don't need to buy anything today unless you want the Sweet 16 action. You can get that over at WagerTalkerSportsMember.com. But never buy a play, dude. If you want to get on board, come on, give me a weekend, give me a week. Let's see what we can do for you. Give me a month. Give me the rest of the season. I think we'll make some money. Check it out over at WagerTalkSportsMember.com.
Yeah, I know Teddy got plenty of college over there, man. He's going to have baseball, NFL, man. The NBA, Teddy does everything over there at Wager Talk and Sports Memo, man. Sports betting legend over there, man. Y'all make sure y'all go check him out, man. Hit the like button as well, man. He just gave out both of his client plays today here for free on the show, man. So we appreciate that as well, Teddy. For me today, guys, I did bet Pacers full game plus 11.5. I did bet the Mavericks full game -13. If you don't want to go with the full game, I do think the first quarter they come out here smoking the Mavs here. I think they come out here and smack smash these Hornets. I really think it's a trifecta spot, to be honest with you. I know it's too rich for some people's blood. If you don't like it, you don't have to take it. But I said yesterday the Mavs will win this game by 20 points, so I'm going with what I know. But the one that I probably have the strongest feel on today is Philly plus 5.5. I definitely think this line moves. I definitely think that Embiid plays in this game. And I think the Sixers are coming to play every night, man. This team, they low-key like the second best team in the East over there, man. I shouldn't even tell y'all that because people don't even really know that shit yet, man. But Sixers today, man, I love this spot for them, guys. I think they show up in this one. I think they win this game. And then I like the Warriors in the next game, guys. That's how I see it going. And also Lakers in the first quarter is also a really good look there, in my opinion, guys. Couldn't talk you off Suns first quarter. Couldn't talk you off Devin Booker points over in that one. Couldn't talk you off the Pistons plus 14.5. And I couldn't talk you off Rockets and over as well, guys. But 3 officials for me right now. Pacers plus 11.5. I'll go with Mavs. I'll say minus 14 for the game. I think it gets ugly. And then give me Philly plus the 5.5 and there and 2 dogs, 1 fave, man. And I'm betting the Lakers in the first quarter as well. I ain't fucking scared, man. Let's get this cash, man. We will win today. Y'all have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. All that good stuff, guys. We're out, man. Let's cash.